What's up, YouTube? Happy 4th of July. I'm going to do an unboxing for you and a comparison of the new Rope Runner Pro. I'm going to be comparing it with the old one. So we'll start off. Here's the box. I believe you can get this only from Tree Stuff. That's where I got mine. And at the moment, I believe that's the only place you could buy it from. Last time I checked, they were all sold out. There's the box. Here's what it looks like. And you slide it out. It reminds me of like a cologne box or like a watch when you get a watch. Pretty nice, fancy box. That's what that looks like. The lid, instruction book, nobody reads that, cover, and that's what it looks like there. There's an Allen wrench that comes with it. I already lost it, so that's what goes here though, and that's what that looks like out of the box. We'll pull it out. Empty box. Here are the fireworks. So that's what that looks like there. Right off the bat, the feel of it feels just like a more refined tool compared to the old Rope Runner. Here's the old one. You can see them side by side there. So the first thing I noticed right off the bat is you don't have to take it fully apart to install it. So I'm using an 11mm rope, and I could fit it through there, so I don't even have to take this pin out. And then the second pin down, you just flip that up like that, and you can fit the rope in there, close it, and then the pin goes in. And down here, same thing with the last pin. It kind of has to line up. There you go. It's kind of like a keyhole, has to line up. I don't know if you could see that. In order to pop out, and then this just slides out to the side, and then slide it back. And then you install it back, and then I'm still getting the hang of it, so bear with me. There's illustrations on the inside, if you could see that, where the rope goes through. So, and that's on all 3 points on the device, so it doesn't have to come fully apart. And this, I don't know if you remember on the old one, this bearing was held in with the carabiner. I'll show you. So there's the old one. You actually need the carabiner in there to hold this part in. And then to take it apart or to install it onto the rope, this has to come out, and then on this first pin you could do the same thing as the new one, depending on what size rope you use. You could possibly squeeze it in there, but if not, you gotta take it all the way out if you use a bigger diameter rope. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to put it back together again, install it onto the rope. And then, so it's, I mean, there's a lot of pieces that go to it, which was part of the reason I didn't really like it. It works real smooth. Another thing, the beak here, I think is what you call it. Depending on how you had it adjusted and on what kind of rope, this was kind of hard on your hands to push down on that. On the new one, there's more surface area, so it works better and it's easier on the hands. Oh, and where you clip in to your chest harness, it's this piece here, which is a lot sturdier. You could almost kind of put your weight into that as opposed to this old one. Let's see if you could see, it's kind of bent from, it's a thin piece of aluminum, and it was attached on there by this, I don't know if you could see that. This thing reminds me of like a piece of a fishing lure, and that broke off. It was attached to there. So that's the old one, and here's the new one. I mean, you could tell it's refined. And then as far as the adjustment on the old one, you got to get a wrench and unscrew this, loosen it up, and then this slides up and down to adjust it for your rope. So you never really knew exactly where your last adjustment was. And on the new one, it's numbered here. If you can see those numbers right here, 1 through 5. And then if you look at the front, there's a little markings on this piece here that tells you where you're at from 1 to 5. So you could always relate to your last adjustment as far. It makes it easier when you're adjusting it. So there you have it. A lot nicer than the old one. So up next, I'll show you what this looks like installed in the tree and actually in service. So we'll go to that next. So here's the rope runner installed on the rope, and the rope I'm using is actually recommended by the manufacturers of the rope runner, and I'm using the Notch Dragon. It's real important you guys read the manual. There's a list of the ropes that they recommend using, as well as information on load testing, and then the application of the device and how to get it set up and adjusted. So that's what it looks like there. You clip in and it tends real nice. You can see that. Let's see. There you go. And I have mine adjusted to like 2.5 on the numbering of the adjustment here for this rope, and I weigh about 185. It's going to be different for everybody else, but you get an idea. And it works really smooth on this end. And then my favorite part of this, of both rope runners, is to tend the slack. I haven't really worked with it yet, but I mean, from what I could tell, it'll work as good or a lot better than the old rope runner. Then I'll give you an example of what it looks like to uninstall it. So see, I didn't even have to take this pin all the way out. The rope comes out, clip that back in. Second pin, rope comes out. This is the one with the, you gotta turn it kind of like putting a key in the keyhole so it lines up. There you go. And then the rope comes out. Again, I haven't really practiced with it yet, so I'm still in the learning curve. But it's that keyhole thing. Push, and then to pull it out, you gotta twist. See? Wow, that's about the only thing that I had trouble with, or as you can see, I'm having trouble with now. But again, it's just part of the learning curve. Up next, I'll install the old rope runner. So same thing, the top pin, just maybe squeeze it in there, it's installed. And then for this second part, the pin has to come all the way out. See, all the way out, and then you're left with this piece here, this piece, and then you gotta put the rope in, and it's labeled up and out, so up and out. Put the pin back in, and then the third part, you're left holding the carabiner, this piece here, and they both work about the same. It's just the other one's more contained as far as all the pieces you gotta take off of this and put back together to get it installed. Hands the same way, and it's as smooth, but I would consider the feeling of this one kind of not to the same quality as the new one. I don't want to say it feels cheaper, but just not as refined as the new rope runner. So there it is, guys. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you want to see more videos. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching, YouTube.